Hi folks, welcome to the Wannabe Gardener. Today I am going to do a little bit of planting. Nothing spectacular, in fact something very basic. Well, what I've learned is supposed to be very basic, which is, ta-da, planting garlic. So you separate the cloves and you put them in individual pots and they turn into garlic, like full bulbs of garlic. Allegedly so, anyway. Unless I'm planting them, maybe then something not so good will happen. What I've got is a few little pots, fairly similar in size, fairly random. I'm going to just kind of give them a little bit of a clean out and put compost in, and then plant them in. And that's really all there is to it. Now I don't know whether anybody would soak these first. I'm not really sure, but seemingly these are one of the easiest things to grow. So as the wannabe gardener, I want things to be easy at the start and then, you know, develop my skills and then move on to kind of more complex, more difficult things. What I will do is I'll plant them and I'll bring them indoors, although we are going to have a very warm day tomorrow. I mean, unseasonably warm, probably like 19 or 20 degrees for this area. But in general, I'm going to take them indoors and then I'm going to show, I won't obviously take them every single day because there might not be, well, there won't be any growth per day or very little, especially initially. Or probably after about every 3 days or when I see growth, I'll do an update. I'll put all the parts of the video together and then you'll be able to hopefully see progress. Or else you will still see the same clove, if I can get it out, looking like that still. After days and days and days. We'll see. Whoops. Now what I got to do is just pop over and get the compost, because I forgot that obviously, and yeah, start planting. Well, maybe do a bit of spruce up of the pots first, but I won't show you that because it's not really that necessary, is it? Here we go. Okay, so I've got my pots, got my compost, and I got my garlic. So I'm ready to go. I've got peat-free compost here because obviously peat-free compost is much better for the environment because the production of peat is very greenhouse gassy and all that sort of stuff. So peat-free is the way to go. Now, I have my little pots. Oh, what I did is I had this compost outside. Of course, can I find my little shovel? No. So it's going to be all by hand. This compost is wet at the moment, to say the least. It's quite tacky. Is that the right compost to use? Let me know. Probably not. But yeah, actually when I was carrying the bag over, because it was outside, the UV rays, and this will show you how dangerous the sun is, the UV rays have just literally destroyed the plastic. I lifted it up, I ripped there, and ripped to shreds. The compost was nearly everywhere in a pile over there. Thankfully not. Thankfully I rescued the situation. Right, now, what I'm going to try and do is the green pots, I'm going to try and do the bigger cloves. Now I didn't think there were any bigger cloves, but look at this beast. It's actually two cloves stuck together, but they're so welded together that I have kind of given up on taking them apart. So, now, I didn't really need anybody telling me this. I think it was fairly obvious anyway, because the bulb kind of sits that way. So that's the root end, and that's where the stem was, the former stem, when it grew first time. So, I'm going to place it in. Let's push it down a wee bit, and simple as that, really. And then just put the compost over. Is that the correct way of doing it? I have no idea, but I'm hoping to see results. Other people it seems to just happen for other folks, so I'm hoping it happens for me. But it's all an experiment. I mean, at the moment I have the ends of onions supposedly growing inside. Are they growing? No. I've seen videos where people can get them to grow. Maybe they're doing something different. But will they grow for me? No, and they're in there about 4 days already, and it seems to take, or it supposedly takes, 3 days or something like that. I'm sure it does. It's maybe I'm doing something wrong because you know, as I say, you know, this is all new. Well, planting in pots, as I said before, is not 100% new. You know, I have actually grown oranges from seeds, I've grown lemons from seeds, I've grown, I think even, excuse me, limes from seeds, I've grown chilies from seeds, I've grown a lot of chilies in fact. It was one of my big things, which is bizarre really, considering that I'm not essentially a gardener. I've always been a kind of indoor gardener, if you like, and I don't think a brilliant one, but I did manage to grow, like, you know, a little small apple tree, well, you know, the saplings, and, well, as I said, the citrus plants and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, my fingers were kind of semi-green, not fully green, and I don't think I maximised or did the best for those plants, you know. I think it was just grit and determination, you know, bloody mindedness that made me grow them. But I did end up feeding the citrus plants proper food, proper citrus food, and then the chilies eventually some tomato plant food, which is seemingly very good for them. So there we go. But as I said, growing outside is a complete new experience for me. I know these ones are inside, but hey ho, these are small. Well, would they be kind of medium cloves? The small ones. So I'm going to do some more. Do you know what? I'd be absolutely delighted. That's why looking on the windowsill, I'm desperately looking. I've got basil that's kind of, it was just supermarket bought basil, and then it started getting scraggly and dying, so I checked again and did a bit of reading, and seemingly it was very straightforward. Just cut the tops of the basil, clear the lower leaves, then put it in water and it'll reroot. And it has, I have to say, that has actually worked. So I need to plant them. I mean, they don't look the best, I have to say, but you know, a couple of pieces have a little root system now. So yeah, that's been a kind of minor success. And what else have I got growing there? Oh yeah, there's this completely desiccated piece of ginger that I didn't even realise I had, and I just found it. I just found it in the fruit bowl, or the vegetable bowl, if you like. And it, yeah, it's like mummified practically. I've tried to put that in some water to rehydrate it, and only a little bit of it, only the bottom part of it, and then with the kind of nodules sticking out where the growth comes from. Has that budged? No, it's been about 3 days. There, it still looks as bad as ever. I think obviously I'll have a lot more success when going down to the supermarket or whatever, well, because there's no markets on at the moment, and getting new ginger. Hopefully that will work, because I actually do like the plant, as I was saying to another YouTuber. I do actually like the actual plant itself. So there we go. Now, and that's my kind of growing disasters inside so far. So I'm hoping the garlic works. You know, I really want. There is nothing. I think that's why I've always sort of grown in pots anyway. You know, I've always wanted to grow, even since the time I was a kid. I tried to grow chili seeds in just like mud from the back garden, or dirt, like, you know what I mean, soil from the back garden. And my mum was like, "Oh, they'll never grow." You know what I mean? They're kind of plants from warmer climates, and so I left them in there and in there and in there, and then suddenly this plant grew. I was like amazed, and it looked like it had all little leaves and things branching off and stuff like that. After a while I realised it wasn't a chili plant. Chili plants are far more sort of basic looking than I had assumed, because I'd never seen one at that time. You know, I didn't have like regular access to internet. I didn't, you know, it was just books and stuff. So, and I'd never seen a picture of a chili plant before. I just wanted it. Just chilies amazed me. Yeah. So anyway, it was a weed or a wildflower, to give it a better name. Now, there's a couple more days. I'm just going to do one more days. I'll do the rest in my own time. There's one bigger clove. It's actually 2 cloves. Again, mashed together. Can I separate them? I can actually. So it's kind of medium one. So just one more. While I'm nattering away. The soil is very, very wet. Very heavy, very tacky. So this probably goes against all the rules of planting garlic or anything. So there's just so much to learn. Obviously I'm trying to fill the pond, and I've had that root there, put the kibosh on things. So anyway, there we go. So that there, unless you can see it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 that I've planted so far. I'm going to plant the rest. I'm going to tidy this up now, and actually I'm going to try and tackle that for a little bit. Yeah, my nemesis root type, I don't know what it is, bits of branches and stuff. And I have got a little hand axe. Well, not a hand axe, a little small axe, small handled axe. So, in order to prevent growth and kind of try and kill it off, because I don't want it, it's a horrible thing, and it just takes over the garden. So I'm just going to kind of bash it a bit with the axe to split the remaining stumps of the branches. And I'm just going to dig around and do a little bit of digging there today. I should have, I mean, I did check online, and there was a guy who had a mattock or a pickaxe, and he dug it out that way. As I said before, he had a chainsaw, he had all sorts, so, you know, I don't have those things. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to take some soil away from it. As you can see from the last video, I did actually, after I stopped filming, I did actually take quite a number of shovelfuls of soil away because it was almost completely buried. So I will tidy up and I will crack on with that. Right, I did the tidying, and so it's time to crack on with that dig now. Here's my little killer cat right with me at the moment. He didn't come back, just have to tell you that. He didn't come back last night. I was looking for him and kind of fretting as to where he was. Yeah, there was no sign of him, and then he did turn up, ran in this morning. I think he was just outside last night. He gets an urge to hunt, unfortunately, so he was terrorising the local wildlife last night. But there we go, cat update. Who'd have thought, eh? Right, now, time for the dig. I'm probably going to move this a wee bit closer. No, I won't. What I'll do is I'll just dig away for a wee bit, because I've realised there's no sense in me getting or going any further with the pond until I get rid of that. I need to, because it is actually in the way. Yeah, because the liner has to overlap there, and I have to build a surround with soil in it. There's a robin actually. It's over there, mind. Just behind us. Just seen it fly up in the tree. You can see its red breast. Beautiful. He's flying away. He's actually in the grass now. And my cat has his eyes on him, but I will stop him if he does, because I don't want him killing birds. But hey ho, he will if he gets a chance. Now, so off I go with the dig. Right, what is it? Let me get my breath back. I start taking soil away from the sides of it, from the top of it, from the other side. But then I decided, obviously, you need to get to the root of the problem, literally to the root of the problem, and dig underneath it. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be months there digging beneath that, because it's probably gone down about 4 miles. Two things. As I was digging there and it was buried under soil, I was starting to think now, is that an old piece of root or is it a piece of ground? No, it's a root, I think. And it's really badly woodwormed, so that's, I thought for a minute that it was rotting already under the soil. I thought, that's a bit soon, surely it couldn't. A few days? No, I don't think so. And there shows that's been woodwormed, and yeah, I think that's actually a bit of root. So there we go. But the second thing I realised is, well, when I was digging beneath it, and then I just said, you know what, I'll just have an old stab with the shovel or with the spade underneath it and see if I can get it. Because I did notice some slight, like a lot more movement in it. Not a huge amount, but you know, certainly a noticeable amount. So I was putting the shovel in it, or the spade underneath it, like slicing into it, and actually I've made serious headway. Could still take about 3 more digs, 4 more digs, I don't know, I've no idea. Could be this one. But it seems to have cut away at the roots underneath, and it's certainly one part of it is getting loose and the other part isn't quite as loose, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So yeah, I'm gonna crack onto it again, and you never know. You never know. And a bit of coal. Haven't seen a coal in a long time. It's actually a carboniferous rock, so 300 million years old. Used to burn that in fires, and I'm an avid paleontologist myself. Studied that as well as my other qualification. But yeah, it's amazing. Amazing to think that I used to burn it in fires, and what my mum did, like. And it's actually from plants that lived 300 million years plus ago. Amazing. Wow. Might keep that bit. Bit mad, yes, but I might just do. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over and just let you see what I was trying to explain. Give you a look. So, whoops. There's a step. I don't know whether you can actually see it down here. Actually, it's not angled right to see it. But just under the root ball here, if I can get it steady, there's I've dug underneath. It's just very difficult with the way the camera is angled. I've dug underneath, so there's an area now underneath where I've managed to get at the roots from beneath. So I'm hoping. Could this be the moment when I actually get beneath it? Let me higher up so you can see more of the action. It's probably a bit better now. There we go. Now we're straight. Yeah, so I'm just going to crack on. Right, it may not seem like much, but I'm going to call it a day. Today it is getting late, and yeah, I mean, I've made minor progress. Planted my garlic. Hopefully that'll be a success. But I've made minor success. I've dug a little bit around it. I've actually tried to, you know, split it with the spade by coming down on it and then underneath it. And excuse me, got a bit of dust caught in my throat. Yeah, so underneath it, I've managed to kind of cut away some of the roots. I've pulled out some of the other roots here. There's definitely more movement. There's the kind of left-hand side of the plant and the right-hand side of the plant. The right-hand side of the plant there's a considerable amount of movement. However, sorry, Dear, oh dear. I think I swallowed some mud. Yeah, so it's sorry, my neighbour, just waving at my neighbour, as you do. So there is movement in it, and so there is some minor progress. The problem I've done is, initially when I was digging the pond, is not forward thinking. I'm thinking, where should I put this soil? I hadn't got many options really, and I didn't have a wheelbarrow. Excuse me. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I didn't have many options because I didn't have a wheelbarrow. Although I could have put it down right where the compost heap is, thinking before. But that's why I say that's the whole point of this channel. It is the Wannabe Gardener. So I need to learn these things as I go along, and I am. I'm learning very quickly that whatever dust particle has got in my throat at the moment, it's causing me all sorts of problems. I might actually have to take this bit out of the video because all you'll hear is coughing. Something caught in my throat. So let me clear that first. Well, it's not going away anytime soon, this itch in my throat. I've tried to clear it, but whatever it is, since I've been digging there, something's got into my throat and it's not letting go. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. Around the root ball I did find lots of, this is like mostly pure clay here. You can see it there. So that's obviously making the work even heavier. So I'm going to continue on with it tomorrow. Again, unfortunately I don't have the tools. I'm not going to go out and buy them because of the coronavirus and the lockdown, and because it's the moral correct thing to do. You know, you shouldn't be going out unless it's absolutely necessary, and to get a mattock is not necessary at the moment. So digging will be fine. You know, it's not like I'm going anywhere. You know, work has stopped, everything else has stopped. So you know, it's going to be much slower progress, but it'll be a real sense of achievement when I do move it. There we go. I finally start to feel better now. I think it's almost cleared. So, phew. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to continue on. So what have I learned today? As I was saying before I had my coughing fit. Yeah, putting the soil, thinking, forward thinking, planning. I did do, you know, a reasonable amount of planning, but didn't really allow for the amount of soil coming out. You know, I knew obviously it'd be a lot, but not nearly as much as it is. And obviously that is weighing heavily down on the roots and the stumps, so it's making the job even harder. So yeah, it's just going to be lesson learned type thing. Anything else I've learned today? Not really. Keep your compost covered. Yeah. And in a waterproof, and actually a Hessian sack would be probably the best thing to do. So have it in the plastic it comes in, and then in a Hessian sack, because it's very thick. That's the reason why I didn't water the garlic, is because there was so much water in the soil already. You know, it felt heavy and tacky. So hopefully they'll still grow. So that's, you know, I'm not going to water them probably for 2 to 3 days, depending on the amount of sunshine they get. On that point, tomorrow I'll be back, so I'll see you then. What you should see now is a selection of the other videos that I've shot related to the pond and some removing this monstrosity. You'll see them now, and they're there for your enjoyment, hopefully. In the meantime, everybody, happy gardening from the Wannabe Gardener. Keep the fingers green, and I'll see you for the next one. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.